Welcome to DATEV Challenge Roth 2016, the world's biggest event in long-distance triathlon invited athletes and more than 5,000 RSVP'd. In the morning hours shortly before the gun goes off at 6:30 am, it is getting busy in transition. Despite the coolness in the faces, you can grasp the tension in T1. Barely anybody has slept more than a couple of hours this night. Did I think of everything? Just don't screw up now. Everything gets a final check. This is where the age groupers are no different to the professionals. Professionals such as last year's winner Yvonne van Vleuten and local hero Anja Baranek from Nürnberg. The only one escaping the hectic is race favorite Daniela Rief. Her bike is a lonely one in transition. It's just as busy amongst the men. Last year's winner Niels Fromhold is this year's hunter. For this man, world champion Jan Frodeno is on a clear mission at his first start in Roth. He wants to break the world record time posted by Andreas Raelert in 2011 here in Roth as well. Frodeno had a bad night, but that has nothing to say.
Auch lange Weggefährten dieser Veranstaltung heute hier bei uns sind und mit uns feiern. Belinda Granger,
Yeah, it's been a while since I slept that little before a race. I remember a very special night in 2008. Since then I've actually been a lot better in regards to sleep before a big race. I'm very well prepared and looking forward to finally getting this race started.
In Peking 2008, Frodeno won Olympic gold, just as his wife Emma, who is in Roth as well, as his lucky charm. Physiotherapist Albert, for one, is looking quite optimistic, while Jan Frodeno is blocking everything around him out just minutes before the start. It's time to get into the water for the warm-up swim. The course is a 3.8 kilometer swim in the Main-Donau-Kanal. For easier spotting, Jan Frodeno is starting in the golden swim cap, while the hunter, Niels Fromhold, is in the light blue one. Jan Frodeno is giving Jan Raphael in the white cap a final clap, and then the gun goes off. Jan Frodeno is showing his seriousness from the first second and is quickly pulling away with a small group, including Niels Fromhold and Nick Castellijn. Very quickly, in this first kilometer, Frodeno is opening up a gap on those two, a gap he's continuously increasing. He is known as one of the best swimmers in the sport and is leaving no doubt that he's chasing the world record time here from the first stroke in the water onwards. More than 20,000 spectators are already lined up along the canal, a number that will grow to 260,000 along the course throughout the day. The chase group, led by Jan Frodeno training partner Nick Castellijn, has to work hard not to let Frodeno go far even before starting the bike. Shortly before the swim exit, Jan Frodeno has bridged a 1:30 lead over his competitors. So far, his race strategy is paying off fully, which doesn't stop Frodeno from refusing any help at the swim exit in the attempt to save valuable seconds on his way into transition. Now the main focus is not to lose any time in transition, and while Frodeno is already on the way in the changing tent, his closest competitors are nearing the swim exit. Nick Castellijn and Niels Fromhold are as expected having a strong swim as well, and the relatively small time deficit might be bridged up on the bike quickly.
Der Anzug ist zu, der Helm sitzt, das Visier passt. Jetzt nimmt sich seinen Räder raus hier und mit Start Nummer 2 geht er auf die 180.
The entire transition from swim to bike is only taken around 90 to 120 seconds for the professionals, which allows Jan Frodeno to take his 1:30 lead after the swim out onto the bike course. 90 seconds later, Niels Fromhold is on his bike and hitting the 180-kilometer bike course as well. Under the critical eyes of the Minister of Justice and age group triathlete Heiko Maas, Fromhold is struggling with his cycling shoes and is losing valuable seconds. The women's race is unfolding similar to the men's race. Daniela Ryf is swimming in a league of her own and is not only swimming away from her female competition, but also most professional men. She is exiting the water in 13th overall in the white swim cap. Only 2 weeks ago, Ryf had to pull out of Ironman Frankfurt on the bike course due to hypothermia, but today her body is telling a very different language. No sign of struggle, she is going out onto the bike course with a 3-minute lead on the other ladies.
Group number 12, 3 minutes.
In the chase group, we see Denmark's Michael Vesterby, Australia's Carrie Lester, and last year's third place, Anja Beranek. The local hero from Nürnberg is going for another podium this year and added some special altitude training for her season highlight.
Michael Vesterby, die jetzt die erste ist, die rausgeht. Sie geht links rum, Anja geht rechts rum. Und die Mädels.
All the women in the pursuit have one thing in common. They're going to lose some serious time on Daniela Ryf in the water and will have to try and close the gap on the bike. Jan Frodeno is showing how it's done with the bike shoes. He's getting into the shoes without any loss of time on the slight downhill section after transition and is looking relaxed going out onto the 180 kilometers. In golden shoes, by the way, the world champion is sticking to the color coding of his swim cap. For now, the Frodeno Express is rolling like clockwork and is not showing weakness towards his competition. With a solid gap, the chase group is following Jan Frodeno. Leading the group is Tyler Butterfield, who's passing Nick Castelline here. Also in the chase group of 3 is Niels Fromhold. He has a special motivation here in Roth. At the finish line, his pregnant girlfriend Sarah Fardung, a former triathlete herself, is waiting for him. They're expecting their first child in November. By now the first ladies are out on the bike course and witness an impressive chase on the bike. Third place lady Carrie Lester is getting passed effortlessly by Joe Skipper, who got out of the water in 26th position and is now making up position for position. In the meanwhile, Jan Frodeno is already heading towards one of the highlights of the bike course. At his entry to Solarer Berg, spectators are already sensing that they might be witnessing triathlon history today. The crowd of spectators is nothing short of the impressive crowds of the Tour de France. Pushed by frenetic chanting fans, Frodeno's flying up the hill. At this point, he's about 3 minutes ahead of Andreas Raelert's record time, but the way to the finish line is still a long one. It's looking very similar in the women's race. First here there is Daniela Ryf and then nobody for a long time. At this point she's on world record time as well and she's not showing any sign of weakness. Ryf is being chased by a trio with a gap of 5 minutes. There's Carrie Lester, Anja Beranek and Yvonne van Vlerken. All 3 of them incredibly strong cyclists, yet neither of them manages to make a serious move on Daniela Ryf on this stage. For Jan Frodeno, the motto in his lonely pursuit for the record time is just don't make any mistakes, making sure to take in plenty of fluids and food and keeping the focus up no matter how tough the going gets out there. And then it happens. Here in the background, Jan Frodeno is riding off the course. Dramatic moments after he missed a turn on the slippery wet roads. Did he injure himself? Is anything broken on the bike? Can he continue? And what influence does it have on his record attempt? One thing is for certain, the crash cost Frodeno valuable seconds, but he is quickly back on the course and doesn't worry about taking risks after he continues to ride. In the following descent, he is trying to get the lost seconds back by maximizing his aerodynamic position. The chase pack is fighting their way up Kalvarienberg in Greding. Front runner is Niels Fromholt, who doesn't have the final kick today. What a display of strength, however, the ride from Daniel Arif, who is only 10 minutes behind the chase pack climbing up Kalvarienberg. Preparing his golden shoes, leading man Jan Frodeno is on the way into Transition 2, where the next challenge is awaiting the athletes. Switching from biking to running, you can gain, but also lose, valuable seconds in your race. This is a bit like a Formula 1 pit stop, just with a way better atmosphere. This is the hour of the many volunteers, without whom an event like Challenge Roth would not exist. More than 6,000 of them are volunteering their time in Roth. For the athletes and the many spectators, they are the heart of the event. The incredibly fast transition times are proof of perfection in Transition 2. Barely more than 90 seconds, that is the time it takes Jan Frodeno to switch from biking to running. The final stage is upon him, 42 kilometers to go for Frodeno, and he is still ahead of Andreas Raelert's world record time. Castelline's crash shows that triathlon is never predictable. A lot can happen. Fortunately, his crash looks worse than it is and Castelline can continue the race. Together with Fromholt, he's entering the transition tent. Together with Castelline, Fromholt is getting changed and then they're off, onto the run course. The course Jan Frodeno as the leader has entered a little over 12 minutes ago already. In Roth, athletes are passing each other on the run course, literally. The only way for many of the age group athletes to catch a glimpse of the leaders who are otherwise running a rather lonely race at the front. Women's leader Daniela Arif is also running a rather lonely race. Her head start on the competition at this point is somewhere around 14 minutes. They are entering Transition 2 as a group of 3. Yvonne van Vlerken, Carrie Lester and Anja Baranek are entering the tent together. But if Daniela Arif continues like this, it's only a fight for the remaining podium spots for those ladies. In the men's race, it is also a fight for the podium spots 2 and 3. The trio with Fromholt, Castelline and Butterfield is continuously switching places. Here we see Fromholt passing Castelline for second place. And over again the pros are meeting on the run course. Here it is Fromholt and Arif, who is still looking and running impressively well. Excitement in the men's race at this stage. Joe Skipper from England, who made up 20 positions on the bike already, is trying to make a move on Niels Fromholt for second place. In the meanwhile, the Frodeno support group has positioned themselves along the course for support. It's all about the support and getting the nutrition right. And Frodeno's wife Emma and his physio Albert Lorsa-Plañez know exactly what he needs.
And then we pretty much need to move.
Yeah, usually she takes it, but yeah, because we make a plan before, but yeah, it depends. If it's okay, you take it. It's not, just throw it.
Today Frodeno seems to be feeling good, at least if we're interpreting the complex sign language between athlete and physio correctly.
Wasser groß bitte, Wasser groß bitte.
First a big zip from the bottle before recharging the energy with a gel. Wife Emma knows him inside out and knows exactly where the challenges are.
He's really fast, so we're trying to keep up and be in the aid station. But so far he looks really good, and of course it's always the second half of the marathon is where things can really happen, and where or not, he spent too much energy early on, but I've seen him look a lot worse.
Leading lady Daniela Rief seems to be running effortlessly as well, whereas there is some serious movement in the men's classement. Second place Fromhold is getting attacked by an unexpected athlete. Joe Skipper is running a crazy fast pace and is getting ready to move into second. In the women's race, Yvonne van Vleuten is seeing her big opportunity. The chase trio of three is now down to two, Carrie Lester and herself, and while it seems impossible to reach Daniela Rief today, she at least wants to secure the second spot on the podium. At this stage, Jan Frodeno is already on the final meters to his dream come true. Nearly 2 kilometers are separating him from the finish line, and the spectators are carrying him along the course. At the finish line, wife Emma and physio Albert are waiting. And then the moment comes. The world and Olympic champion is now also holding the world's fastest time, Jan Frodeno. Jan Frodeno at the finish line. In a time of 7 hours, 35 minutes and 39 seconds, he breaks the previous record held by Andreas Raelert by almost 6 minutes. Exhausted but visibly excited, he is in the arms of his wife Emma. Today, he was a class of its own. And while Jan Frodeno is getting ready for the celebrations, drama is ensuing on the final stretches of the run course. Joe Skipper is gathering all the energy he has left to take second place from defending champion Niels Fromhold. He certainly wants to hold on to his second place, but the psychological advantage is on Skipper's side. He has his competition in sight and is decreasing the gap. At this stage, Fromhold can feel Skipper breathing down his neck, but he has nothing left in the tank to fight back. Seemingly effortless, Skipper is making his pass and tries to bridge a gap as quickly as possible to take Fromhold's last will to fight back. A quick look back, and he knows he made it. He is ready for the finish line. The man from the UK is almost sprinting the final stretches and finishes his marathon in a time of 2 hours, 38 minutes and 58 seconds, even faster than overall winner Frodeno. Yet the young man from Britain leaves a much fresher impression at the finish line than his competition. Niels Fromhold's girlfriend is still waiting for the defending champion. He crosses the line in third with a marginal deficit, yet seems to be overwhelmed by happiness. matter how bitter the fight is out on the run course, after crossing the finish line, competition turns to friendship. This is the spirit of Roth.
Die Stimmung hier ist unfassbar.
The atmosphere here is unbelievable. I got to experience a lot of greatness at the short distance race in Hamburg, but when riding up Solarer Berg, I seriously thought my ears are going to pop. I've been focused all day and seriously tried to keep a straight face, but this made me smile. Crazy how people are celebrating. That's only cause they understand how much work is going into a race like this.
So viele dabei sind, die verstehen, was da reinsteckt, wie viel Arbeit dahinter steckt.
In the women's race, the competition misses the opportunity for a surprise, and Daniela Rief wins her Roth debut with an incredible 20 minutes over her competition. The world record by Chrissy Wellington remains untouched though. Rief misses it by 4 minutes. The Swiss lady is celebrating extensively nevertheless, crossing the line in 8 hours, 22 minutes and 8 seconds, dancing across the finish line. Second, with a 20-minute deficit, is Carrie Lester from Australia. The welcome drink at the finish line is certainly earned. For Yvonne van Vlerken, a tough race is coming to an end. She is faster than the previous year when she won here, but due to the tough competition, this is only good enough for third place. The atmosphere here in Roth is outstanding. The city is really beautiful. Despite the focus and the pain, I still got to enjoy bits of it. And this run course is really cool. That really made it for me. It was an awesome day. And after the pros are across the line, the magical part of DATEV Challenge Roth slowly begins. This shows what makes this event so unique and special. 6,000 volunteers from around Roth and neighboring towns, 260,000 spectators along the course and finish line, making every athlete feel like they are part of a huge international Challenge Roth family. What remains is an unbelievable record, happy winners, goosebumps all along, emotions and unforgettable pictures. And a promise. See you again at DATEV Challenge Roth 2017.
It seems like there's no time, no space. Wide awake and ready for the chase.
The tension grows as time goes by. A sudden shot, now it's do or die.
And then we swim, and then we ride, and then we run, run, run. You and me, the Challenge family. It's more than a passion. Welcome to the Challenge family. It's more than a challenge. It's more than a
It's more than a challenge. It's more than